Number 1, Mark created a flower bed that is a semicircle in shape, and the diameter is 5 meters. So we have this picture here of a half of a circle. That's 5 meters in diameter. In part A, it's asking us to find the perimeter. So in a circle, the perimeter is measured using circumference, which is diameter times pi. But this is only half of a circle, so we need the circumference of a semicircle, which is going to be half of the diameter times pi. But we also need this diameter here, because the circumference only tells us this outside part, and then we need the diameter also, so that way we can find the whole perimeter. So we've got adding an extra diameter. Alright, we've got half. This problem, the diameter is 5 plus 5 more. Half of 5 is 2.5 pi plus 5. And then it says to use 3.14 to approximate pi. So we've got 2.5 times 3.14 as our estimation, and then adding additional 5. And when you do this, you get 7.85 plus 5 more, which is 13.85, and this is a circumference measured in meters. So this is all for the circumference in part A. Now we are going to work on the area for part B. So for area, you need pi times radius squared, but this is a semicircle, so we need half of that. And our radius in this case is going to be half of that 5, which is 2.5. So we've got 1/2 times pi times 2.5 squared. 2.5 squared comes out to 6.25. So we have half times pi times 6.25. And we're going to use pi approximated with 3.14. So we're going to do 6.25 times 3.14, and then we want half of that, which gives us 9.8125. And I don't think it tells us to round, so we are just going to leave it. And area is in a two-dimensional shape, so it is squared. Alright, number 2. Number 2 asks us to draw a picture of the situation, and we have a semicircle patio that's attached to a square. So here I have a square, this is number 2, a square with a semicircle attached. This is just a sketch. So we've done A. Part B says, what is the length of the side of the square? Well, it tells us that the area of the semicircle is 25.12. I'm going to use that to figure out some more information about the circle, or the semicircle. So we have half of a circle, that's where this 1/2 comes in, and then the area for a regular circle is here. I know that this is 25.12, and they are asking us to figure out how big the radius is, so that way we can use it to find the measurement of the square. So half of pi, or half of 3.14, is about 1.57. Bring down all our work so that way we can keep going. Now I have a variable times a number. So to figure out that variable, I need to divide both sides by the number out front. This piece divides out, so I'm left with r squared. And over here on the left side, 25.12 divided by 1.57 is 16. Remember, squared means that we are multiplying a number by itself. So which number can I multiply by itself and get 16? And so r must be 4, because 4 times itself, 4 times 4 is 16. The radius in this problem is 4. But let's go back and look and see. If the radius, I'm going to do this in another color, if the radius is 4, the radius is only halfway. So the whole distance must be 8. But a square has the same width as it does length. So this side length of a square must be 8, this side length must be 8, this side length must be 8. All sides of that square are 8. And it was measured in centimeters. So now we're going to start number 3. So I've sketched the picture that you see in number 3, and it says that we have this window that's made up of squares and 2 quarter circles, and they want to know how much glass is going to be needed. It says the span of this window is 12 feet across the bottom. So this whole distance here is going to be 12 feet. If this window is made up of squares and a quarter circle, all of these pieces here have to be the same length. So I need 12 split into 4 equal parts, which means that each one has to have a side length of 3. Alright, so to find how much glass is needed for this window, we're looking at area. The area of this shape is made up of two squares. So we need the length times the width for square 1, plus we need the length times the width for square 2, and we need the quarter circles. But if I take one quarter circle and I add it with another quarter circle, when I put those together, I get a half of a circle. So I just need the area of half of a circle. So I'm going to do half of pi times radius squared. This piece is a circle, and the half makes it half of a circle. So I'm going to label these. This is square 1. This piece is square 2. And these are my quarter circles. Combined. 2 quarters makes a half. Alright, here we go. I'm going to swap out the length and the width with the dimensions. In that square, the length is 3 and the width is 3. Then I have the second square, which is also a 3 by 3. So here's square 1, square 2, and my radius is 3. And these are the quarter circles. 3 times 3 is 9. And again, 3 squared is 9, and half of that is 4 and a half. And then we also have that pi multiplied in. Alright, when you use the pi button on your calculator, you'll type in 4.5 times and then choose that pi button. You get a number that's approximately 4.14. Okay, so then we're going to add all 3 of those together, and we end up with 32.137, but the 7 tells us to round up, so we got 32.14 feet squared, because this is an area measurement. All right, and there is number 3.